Welcome to the Options Miner community. I'm Andrew. Today I'm going to be going over a couple of trades from June 22nd, 2026. The reason why I'm highlighting these trades is because they were very obvious 3C trades, which if you're unfamiliar, the 3C stands for 3 criteria. It is my system that identifies entries for me to take. And over the prior 8-9 weeks, I have been relentlessly and exclusively bullish. I haven't been taking any short positions. Even if the market has a temporary bearish day, temporary move down, I'm still not doing any kind of shorting. I'm only looking to either buy the dip or buy continuations on strong momentum. And in this case, we had exactly that. We had yet another Sunday night gap down on some negative news events. Now, news, I don't chase news on the events. I don't believe that the market moves on news. I believe it reacts to liquidity based on the news. And typically the way I play news events like this is I wait for the news moves to be overblown. I wait for the market to retrace or spike, but in this case retrace, into a given demand, and I exploit that demand with the 3 Cs. Now the 3 Cs is high volume, wick, and then follow through. And in this case, it worked out really well. We had the initial move down, little bounce back up, and of course the sellers took over and then really started to come down to the tune of a couple of hundred points, of about 300 points to be exact. And then once I start to see a move like this, an outlier move that's very, very large, a couple of hundred points, very prolonged, my eyes immediately go to the left. And when I look left, I am looking for any kind of major supports that we've already visited. I'm looking for prior pivots. I'm looking for unfilled liquidity, any kind of major bounces or rejections, in this case bounces, that tells me that the buyers might re-engage some previously unfilled liquidity. In this case, when we do finally come down, I see a high volume spike here. We see high volume spikes all the time, and that's fine. And in this case, after this one bounces and then of course fails, this volume is no longer valid. So as we're coming down here, I see a volume spike, but I have no bottom wick and I have no higher high. So that's okay. That's not an executable position. And as the market really starts to come down and we enter all of this major liquidity, which is the prior pivot from Friday, and then of course the lows from Thursday, is that we have another volume spike here that does result in a bottom wick, and then the price action really starts to pull up here. We don't have any more extended downs. We get very wicky. The price action looks like it's about to start to favor the buyers. And then we have another bottom wick and then a higher high to get into the price, into these levels, and then off to the races. Now, one thing to remember, as with all things in trading, is that everything is a risk-reward ratio. Every single time you take a trade, you are going to ask yourself, is the risk worth the reward? If the answer is no, then you don't need to take the trade. If the answer is yes, then you can say, all right, what's the next step? How many contracts do I need to put on? Where do I need to enter? What do my stops and target profits need to be? Everything is a risk-reward equation. And the deeper we get into an extended move into prior support such as this, especially with a volume spike, it starts to favor the reward more than the risk. And at that point, I want to put on a trade. We blast higher, we get the higher high confirmation on this, and the market ends up going from 336 all the way up to 668. In this case, my entry was 30,358. So the market closed 358, and then it just kept and launched all the way up. And in this case, on the 5-minute chart, if you are someone who uses trailing stops like I do, this is a very favorable price action. This is about as good as it gets for a bounce where we never have price action dump back over and retrace to stop you out of a trailing stop. The price action extends. It allows your trailing stop to eat most of the profits. And then once the market does start to top tick, you get stopped out for a nice move. But very good actionable play, a very nice momentum play off of news. Something that really highlights the 3C and identifying when volume comes in. You have to look at the price action and you have to look at where the volume came in at. The second play was a morning trade, the New York session morning, and this was a trade that bounced right at 9:45. Now this was a very interesting session because we had a range morning that turned into a trend later in that morning, early afternoon. We typically don't get bounces that are this clean. Typically we have a move down, a little bit of accumulation, bounce back up, a little bit of a consolidation, and then move back down. We typically don't get these one-touch moves. So I was really looking to exploit this, and if you know me, I trade the morning range indicator, which is the first hour morning, and right now you see the morning range was pretty wide, but at the time, the morning range was about right here. You know, the pivot here and the pivot here. I didn't couch the opening bounce, but when price action came back down and hammered with a volume uptick. So I saw volume uptick come in with the morning low touch and an aggressive buyer's wick. And then once we closed over the prior high right here, that's when I indicated, all right, it's time for me to get in this trade. So I executed the trade. We came back up, and then the price action climbed pretty aggressively all the way up to 980 for a new morning high. Now, the stronger the wick, especially at the morning low, the more likely the price action is going to bounce, and that's exactly what it is. I'm just waiting for these strong buy the dip opportunities to take these trades and then move up, which eventually led to a very strong move up to 960. Now, another move here that I didn't take any short positions today, I closed up shop right after this, is that we had the highest volume spike of the day right here that resulted in a very strong seller's candle that noted the top. And at this point, it noted the top right here. And I'll delete this line not to cause confusion. Right here at 30,953 is where that supply actually came in at. So I knew that was the main supply on this market. Now for me, once the dealers gave up this level right here, I knew that it was either time to get out of long positions or actively short. Now me personally, I am not shorting this market at the moment, but it did give an actionable 3C short indication here at 906, 909, and the market began to downtrend aggressively into the lower 600 area for the rest of the day, except for the afternoon bounce. So all that to say is that the 3Cs were able to indicate when to enter and when to consider getting out of a long position, or actively shorting. 3C shorts with volume, top wick, break over lower low of 39.06. Now all this, of course, was on the live stream. I called out the fact that the market was breaking down and we had an active 3C short opportunity here at 906 that you need to either be getting out of long positions or actively shorting. Although, of course, again, I did not take the short position. I hope you learned something from these videos. The trade setups in a live environment, you learn a lot from. It's more so than backtesting. Backtesting is a very stress-free environment. You know what's going to happen, but applying these concepts in real time are invaluable. I highly encourage you to join the live streams in the morning. Come ask questions. Let's try to identify these 3Cs together. If you have any questions, shoot me an email at optionsmillionaire2020@gmail.com, or you can join the live streams every day on YouTube. Thanks for watching. I'm out. See you.